Most people aren't limited by ability. They're limited by bandwidth. You can be smart. You can work hard. You can know a lot. But if your system is full, you become slow, short-sighted, anxious. That's not a character flaw. That's a system failure. We think we lack time. We actually lack attention. Time is what the clock measures. Bandwidth is what your brain has left. You can have 2 free hours. But if your mind is processing messages, worries, unfinished tasks, social pressure, financial stress, and future uncertainty, those 2 hours don't belong to you. The surface is idle. The system is maxed out. That's why after work, you can't do anything. Not because you're lazy. Because the cache is full. Your brain isn't optimizing your life. It's trying to lower power consumption. So you scroll. You refresh. You open the app again. Not because you chose to. Because the system is looking for the lowest energy state. When bandwidth runs low, people go short-term. We think bad decisions come from stupidity. They come from overload. Long-term problems are expensive. Not in money. In cognitive cost. Career planning. Relationships. Asset allocation. Health management. Life direction. These have no instant feedback. No clear answer. No emotional shortcut. They require space. Stillness. The ability to sit with uncertainty. But when bandwidth is gone, the brain takes shortcuts. Anything that soothes now beats anything that matters later. The more anxious you are, the more you crave instant relief. The more tired you are, the more you sink into low-quality distraction. The more insecure you feel, the harder it is to invest long-term. Short-sightedness isn't weak character. It's the brain protecting itself. When resources run out, modern life doesn't just demand attention. It creates background processes. Work notifications. Social obligations. Rent and bills. Career competition. AI changes. Global news. Platform algorithms. Each one runs in the background. You haven't forgotten them. You're just not processing them actively. They're like browser tabs you never closed. Taking up memory. Slowing everything down. That's why people feel exhausted. Even when they haven't done physical work. The fatigue isn't in the body anymore. It's in the system load. And the worst part is, many processes disguise themselves as necessary information. You think you're staying informed. You're actually being interrupted. You think you're staying connected. You're letting your attention get shredded. You think you're handling problems. You're just responding to other people's priorities. Modern society doesn't steal your freedom directly. It keeps you permanently in a state of processing. A person who's always interrupted eventually loses the ability to think deeply. Bandwidth determines how much complexity you can handle. Some people can only handle single problems. Today's fire. Today's pressure. Today's complaint. Their life is a server with no scheduler. Every request hits the core thread directly. Eventually it crashes. Other people see multiple layers. They know what's noise. What's signal? What's surface? What's structural? Which conflict needs immediate response? Which emotion can wait? Which opportunity looks hot but has no compound return? Which choice hurts now but frees future bandwidth? That's not intelligence. That's bandwidth management. The world won't simplify because you're stressed. It will keep adding variables. Technology accelerates. Organizations shift. Roles get redefined. Knowledge depreciates. Information explodes. If you don't have bandwidth, you drown. You chase trends. You chase tools. You chase other people's answers. But real certainty doesn't come from external answers. It comes from being able to build your own model. In the middle of chaos. Low bandwidth makes you dependent on answers. High bandwidth lets you understand structure. AI doesn't replace you. AI compresses or frees your bandwidth. High bandwidth people use AI as external compute. They offload grunt work. They expand search space. They simulate scenarios. Their core capacity becomes more focused. Judgment. Prioritization. Modeling. Decision. Accountability. But low bandwidth people get buried. They were already drowning in information. Now they're drowning in answers. They had choice paralysis. Now they have infinite options. AI lowers the cost of generation. But it raises the cost of filtering. When answers are cheap, the expensive thing is knowing what problem you're actually solving. That's the paradox of the AI age. The stronger the tool, the more you need clarity and structure. Otherwise the tool just amplifies the chaos. AI doesn't strengthen everyone equally. It amplifies the bandwidth gap. Maturity isn't knowing more. It's letting less in. Less meaningless information. Less emotional noise. Less draining relationships. Less pointless arguments. Less addiction to instant feedback. That's not isolation. That's system governance. Every stable system needs boundaries. Without boundaries, external requests will kill it. Same with people. You can't let every message have equal priority. You can't let every opinion enter your core judgment. You can't let every trend rewrite your direction. You can't let every anxiety become a real task. Strong people aren't infinitely capable. They're infinitely selective. They know what shouldn't enter the system. That matters. Because bandwidth doesn't expand just because you work harder. It's a fixed channel. If you let junk fill it, the important stuff can't get in. If you let short-term emotion fill it, long-term judgment has no room. If you let other people's rhythm fill it, your own strategy disappears. Discipline isn't forcing yourself to do more. It's protecting yourself from low-value occupation. Bandwidth is how much space you can hold for the questions that matter. Real growth isn't filling every minute. It's reserving space for the core problems. You need quiet to ask. Is this problem actually mine? Does this effort compound? Is this position building capability? Or just burning bandwidth? Am I strengthening the system? Or just keeping it from crashing? These questions don't surface in noise. They need blank space. Pause. Mental margin that isn't immediately claimed. But people fear blank space. When it's quiet, they feel anxious. When there's no input, they feel like they're falling behind. That's the modern disease. We're used to being driven by external information. We've forgotten how to be driven by internal questions. But real direction only grows from internal questions. Not from trending topics. Not from someone else's success story. Not from the algorithm's feed. From honest analysis of where you actually are. No space means no judgment. No judgment means you're just being pushed. Cognitive bandwidth is the resource you use to understand the world, process problems, and plan your future. You can't see it, but it decides whether you can do the long-term correct thing consistently. Most people aren't stuck because they don't know what to do. They're stuck because the system is so full of noise, pressure, tasks, and emotion that they can't face the problems that actually matter. The real gap isn't knowledge. It's bandwidth. Who can stay clear in complexity? Has more system margin? Who can reduce low-value input? Can make long-term bets? Who can pull attention back from waste? Regains the deepest form of control. The world isn't too big. The space we leave for what matters is too small. The more complex the age, the more you must protect your bandwidth. That's not avoiding the world. That's making sure, in all the noise, you can still hear your own direction.